It started as a normal evening. Nothing unusual. Nothing planned. He just needed air. After a long day. The city felt too loud. Too full. Too close. So he left. Not far. Just beyond the last street. Past the final row of houses, where the road turns into open land. There was a field. Wide. Empty. Stretching out under the fading light. And beyond it, a line of trees. Dark. Still. The kind of place people don't usually go at night. But he wasn't thinking about that. He just walked. Hands in his pockets. Slow steps. No destination. The sky was dim, but not fully dark. That quiet moment between evening and night. Where everything feels. Pause. No wind. No distant traffic. No voices. Just silence. He stepped off the road and into the field. The grass was soft under his shoes. Slightly damp. Each step made a quiet sound. Then disappeared. He walked further. Not thinking about time. Not checking his phone. Just moving. The trees in the distance stayed the same. Dark shapes against the fading sky. Unchanging. After a while, he stopped. Not because he was tired. Just because something felt different. He looked around. The field stretched behind him. The road was barely visible now. The town gone. Only darkness. And the trees. He took a breath. Slow. Deep. This is nice, he said quietly. And for a moment, it was. Then he noticed it. A light. Far ahead. Near the trees. Small. Steady. He narrowed his eyes. Slightly. Trying to understand what he was looking at. It didn't move. Didn't flicker. Just stayed there. A house? He muttered. But he didn't remember any houses out there. Maybe a car. Or someone walking. But no. It didn't change. Not even slightly. He stood still for a few seconds. Watching. Waiting. Nothing. The light remained exactly the same. Calm. Still. Too still. He shifted his weight slightly. Looked away. Then back again. Still there. That's weird, he said under his breath. But not in a worried way. Not yet. Just curiosity. He looked behind him. The field. Dark now. Flat. Endless. Then back at the light. It felt closer than everything else. Even though a WSN single quote stay. He took a step forward. Then another. The light didn't change. Didn't react. Didn't get closer. But it didn't get further either. It stayed exactly the same. And without really deciding to, he kept walking toward it. Step by step, into the field, into the silence, and somewhere deep inside, a quiet thought appeared. You should probably stop. But he didn't, because nothing felt wrong. Not yet. Just quiet. Too quiet. And the light still waiting in the distance. UNMOVING. Unchanging. Like it always been there. And like it always would be. He kept walking. Slow at first. Then a little faster. The light stayed exactly where it was. Same size. Same brightness. Same distance. After a minute, he frowned. Okay. He looked down at the ground. Walked a few more steps. Then looked up again. No change. The light hadn't moved. He stopped. Stared at it. That's not possible. Even if it was far, it should look different by now. Closer. Brighter. Something. But it didn't. It looked exactly the same as when he first saw it. Like a fixed point. He turned around. The field behind him stretched into darkness. The road gone. Not completely invisible, but harder to see. Too far. I walked that far already, he said quietly. It didn't feel like it. He checked his phone. No signal. The time, 8:42 p.m. He nodded slowly. All right. He put the phone away, then looked back at the light. Still there. Waiting. He took another step forward, then another. And another. 5 minutes passed. Maybe more. He stopped again. Looked up. The light hadn't changed. Not even slightly. No. He shook his head. This isn't right. He turned around again. This time, he looked more carefully, trying to find the road. The direction. Anything familiar. But the field looked different now. Not wrong. Just. Less clear. The horizon was gone. Everything blended together. Dark grass. Dark sky. Dark distance. Okay, he said slowly. Just go back. He took a step, then another, walking in the opposite direction. Away from the light. After a few seconds, he glanced back. The light was still there. Same place. Same distance. Like it hadn't moved at all. Good, he said. That meant he was going the right way. He kept walking. Step after step. Faster now. After a while, he stopped. Looked forward. Nothing. No road. No houses. Just darkness. What? He turned around quickly. The light still there. Same place. Same distance. Now it felt closer, but not visually. Just present. He stood still, breathing a little faster now. This doesn't make sense. He turned again, tried another direction. Walk. Stop. Look. Nothing. No matter where he went, the field stayed the same, and the only thing that didn't change was the light. He looked at it again, longer this time, studying it. It wasn't flickering. It wasn't moving. It wasn't reacting. It was just there. And suddenly, he had a strange thought. What if it's not far away? He froze. What? He stared at it again. The distance might not be real. It only looked far. But what if it wasn't moving? Because it wasn't supposed to? Because it wasn't something you get closer to. A quiet tension settled in his chest. He didn't move. Didn't step forward, didn't step back, just stood there, looking at the light. And for the first time, it didn't feel like something in the distance. It felt like something watching. He didn't move for a while, just stood there, watching the light. The feeling stayed, that quiet pressure, like something had changed, without actually changing. He took a slow breath, looked away. Okay, think. He turned around again. Focused. Trying to stay calm. There's a road, he said quietly. I just need to find it. He picked a direction. Not toward the light. Away from it. And started walking. This time faster. Not running, but not slow anymore. The grass brushed against his legs. The ground uneven under his steps. He kept going. After a minute, he stopped. Looked ahead. Nothing. No road. No houses. No edge of the field. Just darkness. No. He turned sharply. Looked behind him. The light still there. Same place. Same distance. Unchanged. His breathing got heavier now. This isn't right. He walked again. Different direction this time. Faster. Steps louder now. More urgent. He stopped again. Looked. Nothing. The field didn't end. No matter where he went. It stayed the same. Wide. Flat. Endless. He turned slowly. And there it was again. The light. Always. In front of him. No matter how he moved. Okay. He spoke out loud now, trying to stay grounded. This is just... He stopped, because he didn't know how to finish that sentence. He looked down. The grass. The ground. Something felt off. He crouched slightly. Looked closer. There were marks. Footsteps. His. He followed them with his eyes. They didn't go straight. They curved. Looped. Turned in ways he didn't remember. I didn't walk like that. He stood up slowly. The realization came quietly. He hadn't been walking in straight lines, even when he thought he was. The field was changing his direction. Or he wasn't controlling it fully. A cold feeling settled in his chest. He looked up again. The light. Still there. Waiting. Then something else. A movement. Very small. Near the edge of the light. He froze. Did that just... He stared harder. Nothing. Stillness again. But it didn't feel the same. anymore. Now the silence wasn't empty dot. It felt occupied dot like something else. Was there dot not close, but not far either. He took a step back. Then another dot slowly dot carefully dot his eyes never leaving the light. I'm not alone. The words came out quietly. Not panic dot, just understanding. He turned again. One more. Attempt dot one more direction dot and started walking. But this time, he didn't look forward. He kept looking back dot at the light. Because now it wasn't just something he was walking toward. It was something he didn't want to lose sight of. He kept walking, but slower now. Careful dot measured steps. His eyes stayed on the light dot. It hadn't changed. Still the same size dot, same glow dot, same distance. But something felt different dot, not the light. The space between them. He took another step, and for the first time, it felt closer. He stopped immediately. Wait. He hadn't walked far. Not enough for it to change, but it did. Just slightly. He stared at it dot, focused dot, then took one more step. Again, closer. A small shift, but real. Okay. His voice was quiet now, almost careful. So that's how it works. He stood still dot, thinking dot before dash. It didn't get closer dot no matter how much he walked. Now, it changed, but only when he moved slowly. Carefully, like rushing. Didn't work. He took another step. Closer again. The light grew just enough to notice dots still far, but no longer unreachable. The air felt different. Now dot not silent. There was something in it. A faint sound dot like distant movement. Or breathing. He froze dot, listened dot, it stopped. Just like before, but now he knew. It wasn't nothing. He moved. Again. Dot slow dot deliberate dot closer dot. The light began to take shape. Not just a glow anymore dot. A source dot low to the ground dot soft dot almost. Steady like a lamp. It's not that far, he whispered, but it still felt far dot, too far for how close it looked. He took another step dot closer dot, and then he saw something else dot around the light shapes. Not clear. Just darker parts in the darkness dot, standing dot still. His chest tightened slightly. No, he didn't stop, but he slowed even more. Careful. Now dot, watching dot, the shapes didn't move, didn't react. But they were there dot, waiting dot, or maybe just part of the place. He couldn't tell. The light flickered once. Very slightly. He froze again. The shapes. He didn't move. The light was close now. Closer than it had ever been. Close enough to reach. But something felt wrong dot, not dangerous dot, just dash final dot, like stepping forward would end something dot, or begin something else. He stood there, breathing slowly. The shapes around the light stayed still. They didn't move. Didn't react. But they were there dot, and the silence was no longer empty dot. It felt full dot, watching dot, waiting dot. He took a small step forward, then stopped. No. The word came out. Quietly. He looked at the light again. Then 4. The first time he looked away from it dot, back. Into the darkness behind him. The field dot, endless dot, unclear dot, but different now dot, not pulling him forward. Not holding him in place dot, just there. He took a step back. The light didn't follow. Didn't react dot. It stayed where it was dot, unmoving dot, waiting dot. He took another step back dot, then another dot, slowly dot, carefully dot. The distance between him and the light began to grow, and with it, the pressure in his chest eased. Just a little. He kept walking, not turning around, not looking back again. Step by step, the field remained. Dark dot, but now it felt open dot, not endless. Just wide. After a while he stopped dot, listened dot, and for the first time since entering the field, he heard something. Very faint dot, wind dot, soft dot, real dot. He closed his eyes for a second. Okay. When he opened them, something had changed. Far behind him, the light was still there, but smaller now, distant again. Like it was never meant to be reached. He turned slightly, and ahead in the darkness, he saw something else. Ahead? Line, faint, straight, the road. He stood still for a moment, then let out a quiet breath and started walking toward it, no hesitation this time, no stopping. Just walking, the field didn't shift, didn't change, it stayed the same, until his foot touched the edge of the road, solid, familiar, he stepped onto it, turned once more and looked back. The field stretched out behind him, dark, quiet, and far in the distance the light. Still there, unmoving, waiting, for someone else. He looked at it for a moment, then turned away and started walking home. The road felt different, not because it had changed, but because he had, each step sounded clearer. Now, gravel under his shoes, soft wind brushing past, normal sounds, things he hadn't realized were missing before. He kept walking. The town slowly came back into view. First a distant light, then another, street lamps, familiar, warm, he didn't speed up, didn't rush, just walked, but something stayed with him. That feeling, not fear, awareness, like he had seen something he wasn't supposed to understand. He reached the first house. The lights were on inside. Someone moving behind. Window, normal, everything was normal again. And yet, it didn't feel exactly the same. He stopped for a moment, looked back one last time. The field was barely visible now. Just darkness, and somewhere far inside it, a single point of light. Still there. He narrowed his eyes. For a second it felt like it had moved, just slightly closer to the edge. He blinked, it was gone, no, still there, just farther again, unclear. Yeah, he said quietly. I'm not going back. He turned, and kept walking. Asterisk. Later that night, he sat by his window, looking outside. The street was quiet, calm, safe. He picked up his phone, no missed calls, no messages. Nothing unusual. He placed it down. Then almost without thinking, looked out again, toward the distance, past the houses, past the road, toward where the field would be, and for just a second, he saw it. A small light, far away, too far to be real, too steady to ignore. He didn't move, didn't react, just watched, then slowly he closed the curtain, and the light disappeared, asterisk. He didn't sleep right away, even after closing the curtain. He stayed sitting there, still, quiet, listening, the room was normal, too normal, the soft hum of electricity, the faint sound of something outside, small details, things he hadn't noticed before. He leaned back slightly, closed his eyes, and for a moment he was back there, the field, the silence, the light. His eyes opened immediately. No, he exhaled slowly. I left. He stood up, walked to the kitchen, poured water, his hands were steady, everything was fine. But something didn't settle, not fully, like a part of him was still standing out there, watching. He drank the water, put the glass down, and then he noticed something on his shoe, a small detail, grass, not unusual, but it looked darker, almost damp. He frowned slightly, looked closer, it wasn't just grass. There was soil, thick, stuck deeper than it should be, as if he had been walking longer than he remembered. Weird. He stepped back, then stopped. The floor, There were marks faint that their footprints leading from the door into the room. He followed them with his eyes. They stopped right where he was standing. He didn't move. No, the word was quieter this time. He turned slowly, looked at the door closed locked. He knew it was. He had locked it himself. He stepped toward it checked still locked. Everything normal, but the footprints were still there. He stepped back again slowly carefully like moving too fast would change something or reveal something. He looked at the window. The curtain still closed the outside hidden. For a moment he thought about opening it again just to check, just to make sure, but he didn't. Instead he turned away, walked back to the chair, sat down and waited not for anything specific just waiting. Time passed, or maybe at the end single quotes it was hard to tell. Then sound very soft from outside. He froze listened nothing then again a faint shift, like something moving across grass slow distant but there his eyes moved to the curtain. He didn't blink, didn't move. The sound stopped. Silence returned, but not the same silence. This one felt closer. He swallowed slightly. It's nothing, but he didn't sound. Convince. A few seconds passed. Then something. ELSE, a faint glow. Very subtle. At the edge of the curtain. He stared at it, not breathing. The light didn't flicker, didn't move, just stayed there. Small. Steady. Too familiar. His voice came out almost as a whisper. No, he didn't stand up, didn't go closer, just sat there. Watching. The glow remained. Unchanging. Like it had always been there, and like it would. Stayed out waiting. Not outside the field anymore. Not far away, just beyond the glass. He closed his eyes slowly and didn't open them again, because now he understood something. He didn't leave the light behind. He only stepped away from it. And that wasn't the same thing.